I won't do it to you.
You should stand on this side.
Okay, you want me? Now he's directing where I gotta go.
Well, that's where you normally been doing. Is this the first time we're doing this?
Yeah. Good morning, Mario.
Hello, Drew.
How are we?
Fantastic.
We're back with the Yamaha Part 2. This was, give us the specs on this motor. It was a 24.
Yeah,
I
said it was a 21.
All right,
but really it's a 24.
It's a 24 out of a dirt bike or an ATV?
No, it's an ATV.
ATV engine.
And really there's no difference between the 21 and 24, but I just wanted to clarify.
What are you doing today?
All right, so this build has kind of changed and evolved over the last couple months. We were supposed to get back at this, and the customer has changed his mind on a few things. So what we're doing here is he ended up going through Wienen Motorsports, talked with Chad Wienen, and ended up going with Carrillo rod, which is longer than the stock. With that goes the CP piston. They have to be done together as a pair. And then Crankworks is the one that they installed the rod and trued it. So we're doing that. He's also getting a cylinder head from Chad. It's a ported cylinder head with cams and a Vortex KTM throttle body.
Anticipated numbers you can expect from a build like this?
I don't know. I mean, there's claims out there, probably
69 horsepower,
mid 50s, probably.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So,
and do we know our stock numbers?
40-ish, 38 to 40, I believe, is what they are.
That low for a stock 450?
Yeah, it's been a while since I dynoed one, but back in I think 2011 or 2012 when I did, yeah, that's all it was, like 38 or 40 horsepower.
Wow. So
they're all relatively close, like the Honda, the Suzuki, the Yamaha, the Can-Am. They were all like between 36 and 40.
Yeah. Well, this is definitely an improvement up to mid 50s.
It's going to be great. So
what's your first step?
I'm going to put the crankshaft in it, and then we'll work on the transmission. I've already installed these bearings. I mean, if you guys want to go check out another video on how we did this, we warm up the case, put the bearings in the freezer, and then do the install. I just tried to kind of jump ahead here with that. Now this is going to require, there's a tool that helps pull the crankshaft in through the other side. Utilize the tool. Be nice if that would stay out of the way here. Okay. All right, next here we're going to be installing the transmission set. Nothing got changed out. The 3 shift forks have an L, R, and a center. So center goes to the right-hand side. Then left and right indicate if you are looking at the cases. So this is the left case when it'd be installed in the chassis. So left fork, left case, right fork, toward the right case. Center shift fork goes in the center groove, left's at the bottom, right's in the top. Doesn't matter on the orientation of how the shift drum can really only go one way. The screen. Then we have a second screen. That second screen goes in the other case, which is right there. Yeah, this
what part is that? The oil pickup?
Yeah, it's the oil pickup. This is gonna go in. Definitely don't want to leave that out. All right, dowels are in there. We'll prep this case now. To get 3 bond on it. Just using brake cleaner.
You spin me right round, baby, right round, like a record, baby, right round, round, round.
You have some issues, you know that?
That's what the voices in my head tell me. I bet you're really good at icing a cake.
I'm good at eating it.
How long does it usually take for that stuff to harden up?
Well, it'll to fully cure, it's like 6 hours or so, but it gets tacked up pretty good quickly. Kind of hold things here because I gotta.
Mario, while you're getting those bolts in, I'm gonna go quiz these guys. If any of the viewers can identify what this bike is, you'll get the Viewer of the Day award. I'm curious if anybody knows what this bike is. We're thinking about doing a video of him at least doing some of the build and hopefully starting it for us. If you can identify that bike, leave it in the comments. He's over here dropping shit.
Yep.
Give them the specs.
Yeah, I gotta look that up.
Oh, you're gonna cheat and use a book?
Can't remember it all.
See, this is the stuff I never show the viewer. We just make it appear like Mario has all this memory.
Yeah. 8.7 foot-pounds.
Every time I see this little torque wrench, I'm like, I gotta get one.
They're cool.
I don't build engines, but I just want one.
Yeah, well, gotta have it.
I noticed you're just going around clockwise. How come you don't do a crisscross tightening pattern?
Well, I started in the middle, tried to work from the middle out. I ended up hitting a bunch of them over and over. But
Yeah, multiple times just to double check.
yeah.
Now, can we verify everything's moving real good?
Yeah. It all works good. Transmission. So I want to pop this out of this holder. I'll put that one bolt in it. Try to do this without making a mess of the 3 bond. Should be all right. As long as this thing stays put. Back into the this is the bracketry for the stator wiring. Center section complete. Now we're gonna the shifting and the counterbalancer, and because we're still waiting on a Hinson clutch basket to come from Chad. The guy that does all his porting and cam design and all that is doing the stuff for this guy here, for us. For the customer who's buying all this stuff, it's nice to go to one spot and get it all.
Right.
That's for sure.
You might actually know what you're talking about too. At least we give the illusion. We give the illusion.
Yes, illusion.
All right, back to it. You're putting all these little nit bits on.
Yeah, we're working on the shifting. Because we got a washer behind it, and then the bolt is shouldered. So you have to get foot-pounds. That's first. Neutral, then second. Third, fourth, fifth. What do you think of for lunch?
I don't know. Lobster? King crab.
Ah.
Yeah, let's keep it light.
Yeah. You paying?
We're going to use some of the YouTube money.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for all the views, everybody. What is it? Both dots have to be facing up, or they? Oh, you line them up together.
Yeah, you line the dots up. But the gears have a spot in it that it can only go in one way.
So it's on the spline shaft one way.
Yeah. And then this one doesn't matter because that's not. There's no relevance to that.
Spec?
80 foot-pounds. This is 36.
What is the plan for this engine once it's finished?
We're going to build the quad. It was supposed to be that I was just going to do the engine for the guy. Then it went to like really going to hop the engine up to now we're building the whole machine. So we'll get in more in detail, but it's Walsh A-arms and swing arm subframe and all the stuff related to the engine from weaning, and it's just a bunch of stuff. So it's going to be a cool build.
And we're going to show it all on the YouTube channel.
We are. At first, I wanted to film it, but I didn't think he was going to be kind of into it, so to say. He just mentioned that he's liked other videos and it'd be really cool to watch one of these. And I'm like, well, we can do it. So that's how that all stemmed. So it was good.
Does he know he has to pay double now?
Put this bracket in.
No, you can't get it in.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so this ball goes down into here.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Can't put the clutch on because we're waiting for that. I can put that piston on and then we'll call it good. It's a DLC coated.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've never seen them black.
Yeah, it's a special friction reduction coating. They do it on dirt bike forks too.
They are nice looking parts.
Yeah.
You can never see them, obviously, inside an engine, but it's a pretty piston.
It's the go fast stuff.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, I do this a certain way. People, if they've been following the channel, have seen it on other builds, the way I do this. But
what are you referring to? Putting the rings on?
Putting the ring pack on. So ring set that I'm doing right now is the oil pack. The center ring, I call it the waffle ring. I put the gap at the wrist pin. So the gap is at the wrist pin. It's not, you're not really able to see it, but it's right there. And you want to make sure you don't overlap it because it can happen. And then it'll smoke when you go to start the thing. So I line up the waffle ring with the wrist pin. And then the two thin oil rings, I put one at, say, 1 or 2 o'clock, and then one at 7 o'clock. This only has one compression ring. So I'm going to line it up with the wrist pin on the other side. And there's an up and a down, and the markings go up. The reason I do the rings this way, the cylinder is the tightest at the wrist pin. And the reason is because when this piston goes up and down, it doesn't truly go up and down. It kind of like beats forward as it's moving. It's just inherent. It oblongs the cylinder over time. Where the wrist pin is always remains the tightest. So that's why I do that, to keep the rings sealed. In this case too, that we didn't really talk about, one of the reasons having to do this piston and rod It's not the OEM length. The rod is longer by 2.5 millimeters, and they change the location in the piston where the wrist pin goes. So overall, the stroke is the same, but the rod ratio is different. And that rod ratio being different is what helps with not so much beating of the cylinder like that, because it keeps the piston from rocking so bad, keeps it more true. Usually on a stock piston, it's flat. Stock Yamaha piston is flat in here, and you'll see the relief cut. But this is domed, meaning that this center area is sticking up, and so those relief pockets are cut deeper, and that's meant so that this piston doesn't hit the valve.
Gives you that clearance at the top of the stroke.
Yes. I've already installed one circlip into the other side of the piston. Have to make sure these 3 valve pockets are for the intake and intake. This is the front of the engine, so intake being in the back on the quad engine. Want to put something down the cylinder here. You want to make sure that you don't
want to drop that pin out or that clip.
You don't want to do that. Freaking clip, ping, in a snowmobile I was working at. It took me like 2 hours to find it.
Oh, man.
It wasn't fun.
We've all been there.
I had a few choice words.
Not the Italian temper.
No. It can be tricky in here, too.
Especially with your gloves. I have no idea how you do it with gloves.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to. Actually, I'm thinking I'm going to take them off because they get pinched in the ring. And then you got a piece of glove sticking in there. That's not good. Never reuse clips either. I think we've talked about that in the past, but always make sure it's locked into the groove. Okay, so I think for this episode, if you will, we're in pretty good shape. So the next time you see us, we're going to be finishing up the top end. We'll have our Weenan Motorsport Alaska head, and then assemble that stator side. We'll put the Hinson clutch basket and clutch assembly in, and we'll get this thing wrapped up. And then in a couple weeks here, you should see the start of that YFZR build.
So once you get this buttoned up, we'll set it aside, and then we got some chassis work and stuff to get that race quad going. So that'll be the next thing we do. Awesome. Well, he always forgets to say it, so I'll remind you to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and be sure to hit the notification bell so you stay up to date on our next video. We'll see you guys.
See you in the next one.
We'll see you later, Mario.
I'll see you.
Goodbye.
See you, Drew. Bye,
bye.
Drew. Bye.
Bye, Mario.
Bye. Bye.
Bye now.